Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Khushoo is a ibadah and part of Salah. قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون, they're successful. Khushoo is so important in all ibadat, but more essential, of course, because Salah is important. It's more stressed in Salah. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri said, and this hadith is authentic as a statement of Abu Sa'id, and not attributed to the Prophet ﷺ. So it's a statement of Abu Sa'id. However, even though this is a statement of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, something like this takes the ruling as if the Prophet ﷺ said it. له حكم الرفع. Why? Even though Abu Sa'id al-Khudri said it in his statement, why? Because matters like this, which relate to knowledge of the unseen, we know for a fact Sahaba would never speak about them had they not heard something about them from the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abu Sa'id said, when Allah created Jannah, a brick of gold and another of silver, He said, speak to Jannah. And Jannah said, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. The verses in the beginning of Surah Al-Mu'minun. Successful indeed are the believers. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Who are they? Who are the successful ones? الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Those who offer their salah with submissiveness and khushoo. With full submissiveness and khushoo. الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Our ibadah here. Allah based success in the verse on the ibadah of khushoo and salah. Allah based success in that verse on the ibadah of khushoo. How to attain khushoo in salah or ibadat is something that will take another lecture by itself, or a few lectures actually. And here we try to stay focused on the tawheed aspect of the ibadah instead of going deep into the spiritual aspect. But we do mention spiritual aspects sometimes because they're essential to our tawheed. But a quick point on that is that because it's neglected so much, one of the biggest factors in attaining khushu' in salah and ibadah is matters before the ibadah. Having fear of Allah outside of salah and before salah, or any ibadah that you may seek khushu' in. When one has khawf and rahbah of Allah, and these ibadat are intertwined, he does the ordains. He walks away from the prohibitions. Allah will bless him with khushu' in the salah. Try it and see. If you enter a ibadah, precede in it with the smallest of the sunnahs, you'll feel your ibadah is different. You'll feel more khushu' in it. It could be simple as entry to the masjid in the proper sunnah way, with your right foot, with the right dua, with lowering your gaze before entering the masjid. Prayer the sunnah when you enter the masjid. Pray the sunnah of the salah, or pray the sunnah of the wudu. That person who did that will definitely have a different feel of khushu' than one who just walked into the masjid at takbir al-ihram and just said Allahu Akbar with the imam, neglects the sunnah. Or worse than that is one who had just done sins. He let his eyes roam freely at the sisters before he entered the masjid, and then he expects khushu' in his salah right after that. Your lifestyle of ta'ah is what will bring you khushu' in your ibadah, and more so in, for example, salah. You'll see one person, for example, khushu' and reciting the Quran, reciting normal verses of the Quran. Maybe verses that don't contain no part of fear in them, but his heart melts and he begins to cry and weep, while his partner near him or close to him, he's dazed that what caused this man to have khushu' over these verses. If you want to attain or you want to strengthen your khushu', change your entire lifestyle. It's not just the moments of the salah, it's the entire lifestyle. And matters proceed in that ibadah. And that's what many neglect. Khushu' also comes by training yourself. You have to train yourself into khushu'. Khushu' comes by salah at night. And you gotta how many people beg Allah and plead Allah to bless them with the honor and privilege of having khushu' in their ibadat? Learning also the qualities of Allah and what Allah mentioned about Himself in the Quran, what the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us of the qualities and attributes of Allah, letting them register in your heart and sink in your mind, those matters are what will grant you khushu' in your ibadat. That's just a brief example of some of the things that will give you khushu' in salah. Maymun ibn Hayyan said, I never seen Muslim ibn Yasar look away in his salah. He means those little shaitanic glances, with the corner of your eye. He said, I never seen him look away in his salah, not even a short or a long glance, never. And one day, a portion of the masjid crumbled and collapsed, whereas everyone in Medina, in the town, gathered, while Muslim ibn Yasar didn't even glance or leave his salah. And he was in that masjid. The best example of the last three ibadat is the story I mentioned of Urwa ibn Zubayr, raghba and rahba and khushu'. It made him numb to the knife that was heated and the saw that cut through his bones, that saw through his bones. Khalaf ibn Ayyub was asked, why don't you wave away the flies when they come in front of your face in salah? A fly comes in front of him, and you know how annoying and irritating they are, and he never moves his hand to wave them away in salah. He said, his answer to that was, why he doesn't do that, wave them away. He said, I heard that criminals compete and bolster on how they withstand the extreme lashes of their punishment without even flinching. He said, if the criminals do that in their patient over their crimes, do you want me to flinch or move my hand while I'm standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Ibn Zubayr was described when he made salah in khushu' like he was a tree trunk. The trunk of a tree, solid in salah. At-Tabarani indicates a reality that this ummah is in a hadith. Abu Darda said that the Prophet ﷺ said, أول شيء يرفع من هذه الأمة الخشوع حتى لا ترى فيها خاشعة. Abu Darda said that the Prophet ﷺ said, the first of the matters that will leave this ummah is khushu'. There will be a time when you will enter a masjid and will not see anyone in khushu'. That's the status of this ummah today. What's wrong and what he warned about is what is happening today. When one adjusts his internal heart and khushu', his limbs begin to show. The khushu' begins to show on the limbs. One works on perfecting his heart's khushu', and that will settle the limbs. Settling the limbs without the heart khushu', some called it the khushu' of nifaq.